Eaters of the Dead by Michael Crichton, published in 1976. Eaters of the Dead, it follows the fictional adventures of this character, Ibn Fadland. He's an Arab ambassador, and it follows him as he's sent on this mission by the Caliph to talk with this king from what is now Russia. Now, on his journey, he winds up getting intercepted by these Vikings who, based on some kind of prophecy, they recruit him to be the 13th member of their warrior party on this hero's quest to defeat this evil dark force. Should you read the book? No, it's not very good. Of course, I wouldn't call it terrible either. It has some positives, starting with the fact that I did find the narrative to be quite convincing, and I was convinced this story was actually largely true all the way up until the end. It's Crichton we're talking about, so the topic is quite well researched. And the ending is clever. The story is basically a grounded retelling of one of our more famous legends, sort of, and that was cool to see. But, as I already said, the book isn't worth reading. Its biggest crime is that it's just so boring. It takes forever to get through the thing because it reads at this glacial pace. It's kinda like the Bible, not just because of its very slow pacing, but also because there's so many footnotes, and I kept on reading them because I thought they might be very integral to the story, and I wanted to learn as much as I could because, again, that's primarily why I kept reading this thing, for the historic aspects, but then I'd have to reread them because they were so dense and just kind of dull. Now, this wouldn't have been such a fatal problem if this book had been true, but it's not. It's fiction. I wouldn't have bothered reading the thing if I had realized it wasn't at least based on a true story, because the illusion, that was the biggest thing that this had going for it. I wouldn't have bothered with it otherwise. I realize most people going into this book, they would be aware of this fact. They will be aware of it, since libraries and bookstores tend to categorize books by genre. But I got my copy at a garage sale. I thought the story was supposed to be partially true. Maybe even entirely true, right? Just a translation of this journal. And I was doubly let down when I realized that wasn't the case. So not only did I waste my time reading a boring book, I didn't even get to learn anything really substantial, nothing for certain, right? There are some things, I suppose, like the horns on helmets, that being a myth, but by and large, the footnotes are directly related to the manuscript. They are debating various interpretations of this fictional document. And so you're not learning anything. This research is fictionalized, even if it feels very grounded. And it's hard to disseminate what is fact from fiction when you have so much fiction at play here. This book is dry. It's hard to get invested in what happens. The characters, they're flat, they're one-dimensional, they're described by this foreigner, this Arab who can hardly speak their language, the language of the Vikings that he's surrounded by, and nearly all the events are described in these quick, detached strokes. And at the end of the day, Eaters of the Dead is something better left on the shelves. It's just not worth picking up. Go grab one of Crichton's other books, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Congo, State of Fear, or Prey. These books, yes, the characterization, the characters themselves can be rather flat, but the stories are interesting, the ideas are interesting, and these are elements that are lacking in this particular work. Anyway, if you liked my review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Peace.